Alright, so it's 2:10 a.m. Um, when I'm having a severe panic attack and I'm shut down, it's because of an abusive environment or lack of the tools to defend myself. Right now, I can't sleep. I can't sleep because I know how much work I need to get done and how little time I have to do it. Had I been able to do this a year ago, any of this, just a safe environment a year ago, I would have been able to get a lot done. What the Border Police and the Bollingers did is go out of their way to guarantee that I didn't have a safe place to do this. Now, they weren't, aware that, like at Tabby's, that Josh was going to be such an abusive alcoholic. But that abuse shut me down. I needed help. I needed an advocate. Now, Mandy Hughes, she recently typed to me that I need an advocate. I've been saying this for over a goddamn year, Mandy. No offense. So, if I'm going to be up having a panic attack, it's a panic attack because I know how much I need to get done and I can't get it done. Now, at the place that I was at yesterday, they were going to make special reparations. Of course, yesterday morning, I got bitched at for having my telephone. Well, that's only one of the special reparations. The big one is my computer, which obviously, if they're not going to let me have my telephone, I don't get to have my computer. The other thing is they don't want to hear people bitching because the rules are different for me. That's something that I bitch about too. If the rules are different for the cops than they are for me, and the rules are different for the Bollingers than they are for me, then those rules are wrong. Am I incorrect? Now, as far as making the videos, I make the videos because I'm having a severe fucking panic attack. All of my videos are so that people are aware of what's going on, what it's like, so that they understand the experience, so they can see how fucked up it is. So right now, for the last 5 hours, I've needed a place where I could sit down with my computer and just go to work. But I don't have one. I haven't had one. There's a lot of people who told me that they'd let me go to their place and work on it. Fucking alarms. Like Rihanna Ingersoll. I knew her from Chapel, Nebraska. She lives here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I can't get a hold of her right now because I'm on a Facebook ban, which prevents me from getting any help because I'm on a Facebook ban. It prevents me from communicating with people that might be able to help. Is she going to help? No. The last time she said that she'd help, I didn't have warrants. I spent the money to come up here, and her husband said no at the last minute. Maybe she should have asked her husband before giving her word. Before I invested in coming up here. She's not the only one to do that, though. Lexi Woods was the same way. I was down to almost no battery on my telephone when she let me know that, no, I can't go there. Her boyfriend, who beats the fuck out of her, said no. Well, that's pretty messed up. And then, of course, there's Aunt B with telling me that I could use her mailbox. I literally have not had a place where I can receive mail. I haven't. I mean, little stints here, little stints there, maybe. But nothing long term because I have to worry about the money. So I'm having a constant goddamn panic attack because all of my money is not enough to do the things that I need to do without the right environment. And with all the court dates that were set up for me starting on the 6th of January of last year, I couldn't afford to have a place. When I did finally have enough where I could rent a place, I had to choose between either keeping that place or going to my court dates, which I chose to go to my court dates. Obviously, they were going to do everything in their power to prevent me from going to my court dates, to prevent me from having the finances to defend myself, to prevent me from having the finances to have a safe place. That safe place means that Shannon Alvarado is not screaming at her boyfriend. that she's not being verbally abusive to her boyfriend pretty well nonstop from when she starts drinking to when she's done drinking. Now, I'm supposed to be some sort of bad person for saying this, but it's the truth. And if it's wrong for me to tell the truth, then go fuck yourself. Right now, what I would rather be doing, instead of making a video about Jennifer Farina Bollinger, Danica Garner, Shelley Dumb Cunt, I love that word, and Kara Miles, Kara Johnson, Layla Johnson, Sarah Miller. Yeah, these people all went out of their way to be pieces of shit, and pieces of shit in texting, by the way. Now, with Layla, she was just playing fucking head games. Another thing that I noticed. The person who was leaking information was probably Cara Miles. Or Cara Rogers. Sorry, that's Cara Mia, by the way. Her last name is Rogers. Now, I talked to Detective Rogers about her. He kept calling her a him, which is odd because she was a female. If she's not really a female, and he knows something that I don't, then maybe she's an investigator of some sort. Maybe she was helping them out. But the thing is, if they knew that I didn't kill Natalie just a few days after she disappeared, and they were able to tell my mother this, then why were they still investigating me? Why didn't they release to the public? Why didn't the media release it? Why didn't, at one of those, 6 or 7 press conferences that they had, why didn't they release that information to the public? Knowing that I was being victimized by the public, knowing that my friends and family were being threatened, and on multiple occasions I was trying to tell them what the fuck was going on. But they didn't want to listen. Now, I've made hundreds of videos. That's no joke. And they tried using the fact that I made hundreds of videos to say that I was stalking people. No, I was the one being stalked. I had to trust people like Natalie's family. Because the police wouldn't do their job. They outright refused. You guys want to be pissed off at me about the times that I had to do something desperate to try to get the police to listen to me? Why don't you pay attention to any of the times that I tried to talk to them? That I tried to let them know what was going on? They took advantage of my disabilities and then tried to pretend that I don't have those disabilities. Now, as far as mentally ill goes, I tried to use mentally ill to get these people to leave me alone. Because, according to the law, it's against the law for these people to come after me, but they did anyway. Over lies and rumors started by who? Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, and Maddie Boa. But they have no fucking remorse. Meanwhile, they hide behind Jesus and their families. Fuck you, you stupid cunts. You are out your goddamn minds. So I make videos because it's the only thing I'm functional enough to do. When I'm in an abusive environment, yeah, I can't function. I cannot function. Not when I'm in a heightened state like this, where I have been stuck for 2 goddamn years because people didn't want to listen. They didn't want to understand. When I was over at Amy Witcher's and Andrew Witcher's, by the way, Andrew Witcher molested his own daughter, stepdaughter. They made promises, but then Andrew was constantly being fucking abusive, constantly needed fucking attention, constantly needed reassurance. And although I'm the one who's sober, I'm the bad guy because that fucking meth head touched his daughter. Fuck you, Andrew. Now, as far as all of these people go, they didn't want to understand the situation. They made no attempt to understand the situation. Shannon Alvarado, she wanted to keep on pushing the fact that she wrote down 3 court dates. See, Sean, I was paying attention. I wrote down 3 court dates. Really? You can't remember those court dates, can you? Can you remember anything else that I said to you? Probably not. But I'm a bad person for saying that it was an abusive environment. Well, that's pretty fucking stupid. Now, when I had my place in Sydney that I rented last year, the one that I had to give up so that I could go to my court dates, by the way, I ended up having to break the law to try to force someone to pay some fucking attention. And they're telling me that they can't do anything about the threats because they're on the internet. They can't do anything about the threats because they're out of jurisdiction. People like Joel J. By the way, he's the one who had Nebraska's largest collection of KKK memorabilia in the loft of his office. So, this guy is telling me that he can't do anything about the police, and he's not going to because he's got to live in that town. Obviously, a safe environment should have been provided to me. Everything that I busted my ass for was taken from me. Now, there's special reparations that by law are supposed to be made for someone like me, but those reparations were not made. Those special considerations were not made. Matter of fact, disabilities that I have were used to punish me, to prevent me from speaking on my own behalf. And the public pretenders took part in this. Most of my friends are poor. They can't take me in. They have to worry about losing their place if they take me in. And a lot of them tell me after it's too late that they could do something. Like Miss Peaches. She was telling me after I lit that fire and threatened the president, I went to talk to Miss Peaches. And she told me, well, me and Raja were thinking about maybe renting you a room, letting you, pay one bill and take over a room. I'm like, Jesus fuck, woman. Why couldn't you have told me this before? Why couldn't you have made some effort to let me know this before I had to do something drastic? And that's the thing. People always say they were gonna do something when it's too late to do it. Like, really? If you were gonna do it, you should have fucking done it. You knew that I was in a fucked up position. Why did it take you 9 months to go down to the police station with me? 9 months after Natalie died. When really, all of this could have been cut off at Peach's house by allowing me an extra day there. But her mom wouldn't allow it. And she said, stop blaming my mom. And I'm not supposed to be angry about it a year later, even though all of this, at any point in time, there are hundreds of people who could have done something. But they didn't want to understand. They didn't take the time to understand, or they outright made excuses. They wanted to play victim like Candace Dale. How the fuck did she get to play victim? I didn't hit her. I didn't kick her. I didn't scream at her. Meanwhile, she treats me like shit. She fucking lied. And yeah, I'm never going to say that fucking woman's name without calling her a cunt. She's a fucking cunt. She knew what was at fucking stake, and she fucking bowed down and bowed out after talking big. When people say I'm on my own, they're absolutely fucking right. Dan Faber didn't bother to find out the situation with Shannon. He made zero effort. He just assumed that Shannon was right. Now, Brandon Jeffson, his own mom called him an asshole. You know why that is? Because he's an asshole. He didn't give a fuck about the situation. He didn't give a fuck what I had to say. He wanted to be an asshole like Stephen McMillian, a.k.a. Mobley. Now, what happened with that situation? He's like, oh, you're not suicidal. If you were suicidal, you would have done it already. Shit, motherfucker. I took enough pills in January to kill myself. I did that because I wanted to die. Now, Miss Shelley had to go out of her way to pretend like she was in danger with that fucking phone call at fucking Candace's. No, I'm not going to stop talking about that. I need a safe place where I can sit down and go through all of this stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I have to worry about. Like, I can't carry in my backpack with 2 computers in, and I do need both of those computers, by the way. There's that much information to go through. Let alone carry the 2 bags full of paper that I have with me. If I take the bags of paper up and then go back out to get my computer, those bags of paper are unattended. I can't take my computer up first because it might get stolen. And this is shit that I have to fucking worry about because there's a lot of fucking thieves in the world. And then meanwhile, the fact that I have to deal with this shit means that I'm some sort of a bad person. Now, there are reparations that place last night was willing to make, but then again, they weren't actually willing to make them. They had to talk to their boss today. By that point, it was pretty obvious that it wasn't going to get done. Now, I would like to show those ladies who work there everything that I've been through, because they seem to have an understanding of autism. Most people don't. The way that officers treat the homeless is disgusting. The fact that I was made homeless over Natalie's death is disgusting. The fact that officers for an entire year before she died could have done something, could have listened to me when I went to them and tried to talk to them as a human being. Instead, they ignored me until I'm fucking hysterical. Of course I'm fucking hysterical. Who wouldn't be?